Once upon a time, in a kingdom nestled between rolling green hills and quiet rivers, there lived a young prince who longed to find a true princess. He wasn't looking for titles or jewels, but for the honesty and kindness that set a true heart apart. Year after year, the courtiers brought him word of noblewomen from distant lands, but somehow none seemed to possess that intangible quality he sought. One night, as rain lashed against the windows and the storm rattled the castle's ancient stones, a lone figure appeared at the gate. She was soaked through, her cloak weighed down with rainwater, yet her posture held a quiet dignity. The doorman led her, shivering, to the warmth of the entrance hall. When questioned, she announced softly,
"I am a princess, traveling from a neighboring land. My carriage lost a wheel in the storm."
The queen, ever wise, welcomed the stranger with a warm smile, but her eyes lingered with curiosity. Could this drenched young woman truly be a princess? Court life had taught the queen that appearances could be deceiving, and she resolved to find out. After offering the visitor a seat by the grand hearth and a steaming mug of tea, the queen gave a gentle nod to her servants. In a quiet flurry of activity, they prepared a chamber for the guest. On the bed, beneath 20 mattresses and 20 feather beds, they tucked a single small green pea. It was almost nothing at all, barely larger than a coin. If the stranger was a true princess, the queen mused, her sensitivity would reveal itself, even in the smallest discomfort. At breakfast the next morning, sunlight spilled into the great hall, warming the stones and glinting off silverware. The prince watched as the visitor entered, a delicate weariness in her eyes.
"How did you sleep, my dear?"
The young woman hesitated, then smiled politely.
"Your hospitality was generous, but I'm afraid I hardly slept. There was something uncomfortable in the bed. A tiny lump, perhaps. I tossed and turned all night, though I tried not to complain."
The prince's gaze softened. This simple admission, free from dramatic flourish, told him more than any title could. The queen's lips curved in satisfaction, and she explained the test to their guest. Far from being offended, the young woman laughed, a sound like clear water over stones.
"I suppose a pea isn't much, but sometimes the littlest things make all the difference."
Later that day, the storm passed, leaving behind a sky blossoming with sunlight. The prince and the princess walked through the gardens, sharing stories and gentle laughter, discovering in one another that precious spark of understanding. In the days that followed, the castle felt brighter, as if the air itself was alive with possibility. And so the prince found in the princess the honesty and kind spirit he'd always sought. They built a life together on trust and gentle hearts, keeping the tiny pea preserved in the palace museum as a quiet reminder. Sometimes it's the smallest things that reveal what's true, and it is sensitivity to others that marks a person of real grace.